You got your choice. You can have one of the two magical lines.
I want the 3 correct magical words.
You're right.
Damn.
But what's funny about a woman is she'd rather be right than be loved.
What? That's not true.
Well, you can have you are right or I love you. Which do you want?
I have both.
So Kody can't just let Christine win, can he? The two of them are out shopping, minding their own business when they spot this industrial lamp. Christine, ever the optimist, bets the thing turns on with the faucet, you know, the little knob on the side. Kody, of course, is absolutely sure she's wrong. Because why would Christine, who has eyes and a brain, be right about something as basic as this lamp? Naturally, the lamp turns on with the faucet. Christine, unbothered, turns to Kody and says, "I want to hear you say it." Oh, the sweet satisfaction of victory. And what does Kody do? Well, he can't just admit she's right. Oh no, not without adding his little twist. He tells her she can either hear "you're right" or "I love you." Yes, you read that right. The man literally says that if Christine wants him to acknowledge she's right, he'll withhold his love. It's almost like he's making a bargain. I'll love you, but only if you let me be right. The idea that a woman can't be right and loved at the same time. Apparently, it's a bridge too far for Kody. It's not just petty, it's downright cruel. It's fascinating to watch Kody go from playful arguing to fighting dirty with a kind of contempt that's almost impressive in its speed. It's not a meltdown, it's more like a tiny little fire that burns out just as quickly as it starts. He puffs up, makes a scene, then fizzles out like some expired soda. Honestly, this moment sticks with you. Because really, what kind of person says this on camera? To another human being? On camera. Not just saying it, but telling someone he won't love them unless they let him be right. And this is the same man who spent years professing his unconditional love, like he's some kind of saint in front of everyone, God included. This moment, it's a massive red flag. And as Maya Angelou wisely put it, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Kody would much rather be right than loved, and let's be real, he's only shown us that time and time again. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Robyn, we get it. You're really out here making sure we all know just how hard you're pushing yourself this season. First to eat the placenta, of course. First to hear about the twins. How convenient. First to get Archer, even though Christine was holding Ace at the same time. Oh, but details, right? Not to mention, you and Kody were specifically invited to Logan and Michelle's wedding. Because, you know, you're just so essential to every event. It's honestly starting to feel like a bit much. And hey, let's not forget, Robyn was the first to marry Kody once her frontal lobe was fully developed. What a milestone. You know what I'd really love to see? Maddie just obliterate Robyn with some hard-hitting truths. I mean, every single one of those kids would back her up, no question. But hey, at least Robyn's got the whole keeping the kids away from Kody's chaos thing down. Because, let's be real, you know he'd be telling them all about his latest drama and conveniently blaming their grandmas for it. But here's the kicker. I genuinely think Robyn is more upset that the audience hates her than the fact that she won't be sipping lemonade on the porch with her sister wives. That's why her actions feel so off. She's not focused on fixing things with the family. No, she's out here trying to win over the audience so she can drop the family and be the solo star of her own show. Oh, and Robyn is fully aware that her role as Michael T's support system is the only positive storyline she has left, right? So naturally, she milked that for all it was worth, ironic, considering Michael T's now distancing herself from Robyn. I mean, imagine going from literally sleeping in Robyn's closet during postpartum to no longer speaking. Yeah, that speaks volumes. And can we talk about how Robyn's so used to being the main character, in her own head, of this whole sister-wife saga, but now, with Raymond hair sidelined, she can't handle it? She's desperate to be the center of attention again. Remember her perfect Christmas monologue, sitting there whispering into her phone? Yeah, nothing says shy like that. Speaking of which, this is the same woman who had no problem publicly claiming the other wives rejected Kody's affection because it made them uncomfortable. So apparently, she's an expert on the other wives' sex leaves now? Definitely not shy, but sure, let's pretend she is. And of course, Robyn's all about doing most of the work with Michael T and the babies until she leaves. Predictable. Anyone? So, I just saw on Really T that Kody apparently couldn't be bothered to follow the injunction about transferring, selling, or moving assets. Instead, he went ahead and slapped $400,000 on a 7,800 square foot house. Seriously, is Christine's lawyer even aware of this? I hope they're already drafting motions to get this mess sorted. Honestly, I'm just sitting here hoping and praying he gets sent to prison for this. And hey, maybe they'll lose that money too, just for good measure. He was supposed to notify the bank or whoever he worked with about the injunction, but clearly he thinks the rules don't apply to him. It's honestly disgusting. That money could have gone to Truly for her surgery, but nah, Kody is more concerned about his giant house. So typical of him to be this vile and selfish. We seriously need to boycott this show. Maybe then he'd have to get a real job and stop living off this nonsense. Honestly, I can't wait to find out how much of that money actually belongs to the original 3 wives. I can't stand them. They are so evil. Why on earth do they need such a massive house? Newsflash, no one's coming back. But let's be real here. Even if this is a violation, he's not going to jail. I've done some digging, and it's a pain to find any actual proof that he violated the injunction in the first place. All the records are sealed, but the only thing I could find was a quote from WOACB where the court said if it's about dividing property or debts, then no one can transfer, conceal, or dispose of property. But guess what? That doesn't apply here. So, unless more info comes to light, he's probably in the clear. Also, let's talk about this whole not transferring assets thing. That's typically something you see in divorce cases, not child support situations. Family court has all sorts of mandatory language in documents, but not every sentence applies to every case. And I agree, it's incredibly rare for someone to end up in jail for violating a civil order. Sure, it can happen, but it's a last resort. So Kody going to prison. Yeah, that's as likely as Junnel and Mary getting their money back. We're talking the 15th of never here. All these adults walked into this situation fully aware of what they were doing. It's infuriating that taxpayers have to foot the bill for this mess, while they untangle their selfish, illegal, and downright dumb decisions. Kody's a jerk, no question about it. But let's not forget, his 3 original wives made their choices too. If they were foolish enough to give up legal marriage protection, hand over their money, and have a million kids with this mediocre man who gave them the bare minimum, then I'm not exactly rushing to their rescue. The kids, though, they deserve better. Truly should definitely be getting child support from her deadbeat dad. The adults, on the other hand, can deal with the fallout of their own bad decisions if they're too busy skirting the laws meant to protect them. Kody Calling Garrison a narcissist? Oh, the irony. I'm rewatching season 17 right now, and honestly, I can't believe this guy. So here's Kody explaining in his talking head that Garrison called him up and said he was done with his father's rules, his favoritism toward Robyn, and basically being fed up. And what does Kody do? He calls his son a narcissist. Yes, really, Kody, the grown man with the emotional maturity of a toddler, has the nerve to throw around that label. This is the same guy who can't see the narcissism staring back at him in the mirror. Instead of taking a hard look at himself, he's just going to project all of his own issues onto his kid. Classic. This is psychological projection 101, when you're too blind to face your own flaws, so you throw them on someone else to avoid the discomfort. And don't even get me started on how vile Kody's words are toward Garrison. If the passing of his own father wasn't enough of a wake-up call for him, then honestly, I don't know what we'll ever get through. The things he said about his own children, those will stick with them forever. If I were him, I'd be paralyzed with guilt. If I ever thought my child, especially as a young adult, was acting selfishly, I wouldn't slap a narcissist label on him. I'd think, okay, he's going through something difficult. Let me guide him through this emotional moment so he can grow into a more mature adult. Because you know what? If you label your kid like that, you're not just harming your relationship with him, you're hurting his relationship with himself. Even if Garrison was being selfish, which, by the way, I don't think he was, it's clear Kody's the one who can't even consider anyone else's perspective. Kody still handled it so horribly that it wouldn't matter. His approach was so wrong that it completely outweighs any point he may have had. Does anyone else think Meri comes off as kind of immature? I know this might not be the most popular opinion, but she's always seemed a little off to me. Like, super childish and maybe not completely grounded in reality. Anyone else get the vibe that something's just not quite right with her? Well, honestly, they all are. Exactly. Some of them have made a bit of progress, but at the core, they're still emotionally stunted. Yeah, they're all pretty much the same in that regard. They've been stuck in a cult for over a decade. Meri and Christine, they've been in it since they were kids. You don't walk away from that with a fully functioning critical thinking ability. Cults kind of take care of that for you. I mean, I'd say Meri's immaturity is more the result of growing up in a sheltered, ultra-religious bubble. Totally. Honestly, they're all emotionally stunted. Even Janelle, though I'd say she's probably the most emotionally mature out of all of them. I don't think Kody's the main reason for that. It's more about the whole funny culture they grew up in. I was raised in the Bible Belt, and I didn't start acting like an adult until my late 20s. There were just so many things I wasn't allowed to experience. I was stunted until my mom got us out of there when I was 13. Can't even imagine if I'd stayed in it until marriage. Right. Both Meri and Christine were raised in this cult where girls were basically taught to stay sweet and never grow up. And now we're watching Christine act like a lovesick teenager with her new boyfriend. She's 49, not 16. Yeah, they both got a major maturity freeze frame. Meri married at 19, and there was clearly some religious and family trauma she needed to work through. She's probably done a lot of therapy to deal with it, and it seems to have helped her a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if she regrets getting married so young and wishes she'd gone to college instead. Honestly, she seems better suited for a monogamous relationship, just like the rest of them. Immature? Sure, not quite right. Nah, I think that's Kody, not Meri. Yeah, growing up in a cult until you're in your 40s will definitely stunt your emotional growth. But I do think Meri's therapy journey is a huge win for her. It's clearly helped her grow, find her voice, and mature, though she's still working with the baggage from those years that kept her from really developing. She's not going to act like someone her age should, just because of how much that cult messed with her during her formative years. I'm rewatching Sister Wives, and I'm currently on season 13, episode 6. Meri and Kody are driving to Flagstaff to look at properties, and naturally, the roads are slippery. Meri's nervous, so she casually suggests, maybe you could just hold my hand through it. Kody, the embodiment of empathy, laughs and says, "Oh, would that make you feel safe? I vow to have both hands on the wheel to keep you safe." Meri, clearly picking up on the fact that hand-holding is just a bridge too far for him, responds, "Yeah, anything to avoid holding my hand." Kody laughs even harder and snickers, "Stop being a victim." It's honestly appalling. If you're in a relationship where your partner treats you like this, it's time to pack your bags and leave. I had a full-on flashback to my last relationship while watching this, and let me tell you, it was cringeworthy. Season 13 so far, absolutely brutal. Kody has these moments where he straight up humiliates the wives, and it's played off as some kind of joke. Like in the episode before this, he teases Christine for saying she doesn't see him enough, and she physically flinches from him. How is that funny? But the cruelty isn't new. It goes all the way back to season 1. I'll never forget the time when Kody and Robyn picked out her wedding dress, and he told her not to mention it to the other wives. Then, of course, he let Robyn go to the dress shop and pretend like she was bonding with the other women. And when he finally reveals it on the couch, he laughs like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. Zero care for how the other wives feel, just complete disregard. The sadness on their faces in that moment, pure evidence that Kody has always been this cruel, selfish person who only cares about his own amusement. He even says, "I've got a bomb to drop, I picked the dress." Yeah, he knew it would hurt them, and he was giddy about it. That was the moment the mask really slipped. Robyn, naive at the time, thought he would keep her secret, but she hadn't quite learned how to train him yet to keep her stuff hidden. Classic Kody. Looking back, I really think Kody took each wife to Flagstaff for the sole purpose of getting their approval. He took them individually, made it seem like a romantic getaway, and promised them a fresh start. That's textbook manipulation. But here's the kicker. He was so blinded by his own games that he didn't realize Robyn was playing him the whole time. Particularly with Christine and Marie, both of whom had issues with him. Jenna, though, was still fine with him in Las Vegas. But Mary had the whole catfishing debacle, and Christine was dealing with jealousy. These Flagstaff trips, just a way to manipulate them into thinking things would improve. And then, to hear him sit there and say he never loved them. That's just insane. Either admit you never loved them and were manipulating them all along, or admit you did love them. It's not that hard. I'd also suspect Kody played the same game with Las Vegas. We know Christine and her kids got to go, but we also saw Mary wearing a Vegas shirt. So maybe she got her own little separate trip? You've got to wonder. The Whitestone Trust, because apparently Kody and Robyn think they're the cleverest people in the room. Let's break it down, shall we? The name of their trust isn't just a random choice. It's dripping with self-congratulation. Historically, in some ancient cultures, trial judges would cast their votes using black or white stones. Black meant guilty, and white meant innocent. If the accused received more white stones than black, they were acquitted. Basically, white stones symbolized being judged innocent. So clearly, Kody and Robyn think they're real pioneers in symbolizing innocence. How cute. Sure, they've got their house now, but let's not get too carried away. What they really won was a home, but at the cost of their families. It's like winning a prize, but losing everything else that mattered. Great trade-off, right? And, of course, they pulled out the Bible card to explain this whole thing. Revelation 2:17 to be exact. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat. And I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written which no one knows except him who receives it. So in their minds, Robyn and her kids are the innocent ones, favored by Kody's judgment, while the original 13, well, they're guilty, apparently. What a delightfully twisted logic, huh? This whole white stone business, it's just a roundabout way of saying, we're innocent, and everyone else can go to hell. If I were one of Kody's kids, that would probably be the moment I'd seriously reconsider any remaining faith in him. Honestly, it's like he's just doubling down on being a narcissistic, self-righteous jerk at this point. What a gem! Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.